Hello! In this video, we are going to go over the front strip of Eclipse Town. So basically, we're going to go over all the hiding spots on this strip of the map. Basically, everything along this horizontal strip that I'm basically walking across. It's basically on the same side as Hunter's Spot. So everything along this horizontal strip. Alright, we're going to start from this side and work our way towards the opposite building. Right, so starting from over here, right, we're going to basically start out with this TNT stack. So basically for the TNT stack, notice how we have like a square of TNT here, sort of. Just memorize that. There should be no TNTs behind the square of TNT. So if you see a TNT right here, then it's fake. Right, basically what you're looking for is if you see like two TNTs in a row like this, it's fake. Two TNTs in a row like this, it's fake. Two TNTs in a row like this, then it's fake. You also shouldn't see a TNT on the left side of it like this, right? That would be fake as well. Another thing is if you see like a rectangle of TNT like this, you know, this is a rectangle, that would be fake. Right? Usually you don't see this, but obviously this is unnatural. You shouldn't see a square of TNT on top or TNT that goes way too high up like that. That's basically it for the TNT set, right? So now, going over here, we're actually going to talk about these upper areas first, before we talk about all the bottom areas. Because really, it feels more natural to memorize the things on the top first than it does to memorize the things below it. Right? So starting with the top, right? Starting with this one, basically, you have cakes and flower pots. Right? So with the cakes and flower pots, basically it's just a total of 3 flower pots. So just memorize that there's 3 cakes. As for the flower pots, there's 4 flower pots. So basically, 3 cakes, 4 flower pots. Pretty easy. Now, as for the hay bales, whenever you morph as a hay bale, you're always pointing upward like this. But most of these hay bales are on their side, so most of the time they aren't going to be hiders, right? There are actually only 2 hay bales over here that are facing the correct direction, which are these 2 hay bales right here. These are the only 2 that could possibly be hiders, but they're real, right? I'm telling you right now that these are real hay bales. So if you see any hay bale, right, if you see any other hay bale that is also faced up like this would be a fake hider. So again, right, this hay bale is different from the surrounding hay bales, and that's how you know it's a fake hay bale. Right, the only other 2 hay bales are like that are this one and this one. So that makes it really easy if you just memorize that. It's basically it for this top area. Going over here, we have all flower pots, right? For the flower pots, I like to memorize it by how many are on each layer. Right, on the top layer, we have 2 flower pots. On the middle layer, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 flower pots. And on the bottom, we have 2 flower pots. So I just memorize the numbers 2, 4, 2 for the flower pots, right? And if you see like more than that, obviously, that means it's fake. So it's really easy if you just memorize that. Most of the time when there's a flower pot hiding here, it's going to be directly next to another flower pot. Like notice 2 in a row, that makes it fake. Again, 2 in a row, it's fake. Flower pot here, 2 in a row, it's fake. Really easy, right? That's basically it. If you see a hay bale hiding here, usually you don't see that, but notice there's like a rectangle space here, so if it's like no longer a rectangle like this, then it'd be fake. And for the top structure, it's basically like the letter F, right? Pretty easy to memorize. I'm not going to worry about the hay bales too much, right? But basically that's it for the top areas. As for the bottom areas, what I should mention is in here we have bookshelves and hay bales. Right? Both these bookshelf and hay bale piles have flower pots on them. But basically for the bookshelf pile, what I would memorize is if you see like a bookshelf in the back of the stack, like 2 on top of each other right here, or 2 in a row right here. That's what you should memorize. For fun, obviously, right? I like saying that. That was good. For fun. If you see 3 bookshelves in a row like this, it's fake. Or if you see like if you see it squared off like this, it's fake. Or if you see a bookshelf that goes way too high up, then that would be fake. Notice there's also a total of 4 flower pots. So just memorize for fun that there's 4 flower pots here, and that's basically it. There's more than 4 flower pots, and it's fake. For the hay bales, it's a little bit more difficult for me to teach this. But I guess usually it's about square. So if you see it squared off like this, it's fake. If you see it, whoops. Let me just morph back into a hay bale. Again, if you see it squared off like this, it's square hay bales. Again, if you see it squared off like that, it would be fake. Right? You shouldn't see a hay bale on top of this central hay bale either, so this would be fake as well. And it turns out, just like for the bookshelf stack, we have 4 flower pots, the hay bale stack also has 4 flower pots. It's just a little bit more difficult to pinpoint them all, but you can easily tell that there should be a total of 4 here. Right? Any more than that would be fake. So really, it makes it easy, right? 4 and 4. So, speaking of the number 4, we have 4 cakes and 4 flower pots on this table. So really, all you gotta do is think about the number 4 when passing through here, and you'll be able to do it instantaneously. Pick out a fake hider instantaneously. So really, the number 4 also applies here, right? If you see any more than 4 flower pots or 4 cakes, that's how you know it's fake. So as you see, really easy. You just think of it that way. As for these cauldrons, you're basically right in front of Hunter Spawn, so you should be able to, for the most part, see it from here. But I'll tell you what, just so you can have fun memorizing it for fun. Basically, if you see a cauldron here, it's fake. If you see it squared off right here or squared off right here, then that would be fake. Pretty easy for the cauldrons. And also, there's nothing in here at all. Just that. Well, I mean, technically there are chickens here, right? But obviously you know to check fake chickens. So at this point, we've actually reached the Hunter Spawn. So basically, we are halfway done. He's gotta go over all the stuff over here. As for this melon stack right next to Hunter Spawn, right? The most common spot is to see a melon in this hole right here. So you just have to memorize this one for fun. Right? There's another hole, but like obviously you should just kind of know that too. Someone for some reason, if someone's there because of radar. Right? Also, if you see like 5 melons on top of the stack like this, it's gonna be fake. 4 melons in a row like this is fake. Right? If it's squared off on this side of the stack, like right here, or squared off right here, it's fake. Pretty easy if you just sort of memorize it. Going over here, we have TNTs and hay bales. Now notice there's actually a hole right here that either a TNT or a hay bale can have. It's like a TNT or a hay bale. You sort of have to memorize that for fun. Right? As for the TNTs, we see like a TNT on it right here. Again, notice it's squared off, right? Or right here, it's squared off. That would be fake. Alright, so pretty easy for the TNTs. You sort of know that. I guess that's basically, I have nothing really else to talk about for that. Going here, we actually have a bunch of tables. We have 4 tables. Again, the number 4. I like the number 4 because it keeps showing up. Let's go! Because we have 4 tables. But really, I have 4 tables. We have 2 blocks on each table, right? Mixtures of cakes and flower pots. So really, right, 2 each. Right? You should never see 3 on a table. Like this case, there's 3 on a table, that would be fake. Again, 3 on a table would be fake. 3 on a table, fake. 3 on a table is fake. If you ever see 3 cakes or flower pots on a single table, that makes it fake. Each of these tables should only have 2 each on it. Alright, notice how we have 2 bookshelf piles, one leaning up against the wall, and one over here. As for this bookshelf pile, basically you could see a hider here, but they wouldn't become solid. It does happen though, right? That would be fake. I guess if you see like a staircase of bookshelves right here, it's fake. You see, basically you should have a total of 4 bookshelves within this region. So you should have a total of 4, you should not have 5, for instance, like this should be fake. Or something like this, then that would be fake. Overall, it's pretty easy for the bookshelves. These bookshelves are also pretty easy. You should just sort of memorize some things. Right? For instance, you see 3 bookshelves in a row like that, it's fake. You see 3 bookshelves surrounding the central bookshelf like this, then it's fake. You should only have 2 bookshelves on the top of the stack. So if you see like 3 bookshelves on top of the stack, for instance, like this, then, well, this would be fake. If you see a bookshelf on this side of the stack, then that would be fake. So you sort of just have to memorize it. As for these cauldrons, right? These cauldrons, pretty easy, right? If you see a cauldron in this slot, then that would be fake, right? And as for this cauldron, it's all about slots, right? You have a slot right here, it can hide, right? Slot right here, they can hide. Slot right here. It's all about slots, in my opinion. So you just sort of memorize those slots because slots are so fun. Most of the time, it's really easy because really, whenever there's a cauldron hiding here, you just see a large group of cauldrons altogether. Like for here, you see a group of 5 cauldrons. Here, you see a group of 5 cauldrons. Here, you see a group of 5 cauldrons. So it makes it really easy if you just sort of memorize it that way. Here, you would have a group of 4 cauldrons. So again, really easy if you just sort of memorize it for fun. We love memorizing things for fun, so I'm gonna keep saying that. As for these anvils, they do in fact face the same direction. Basically what you're looking for is if you ever see 4 anvils in a row. So basically, in this case, like you should never see 4 anvils in a row. Like the maximum is 3 in a row. But notice in all of these different spots, you get more than 3 anvils in a row. Like in this case, you get 5 anvils in a row. Here you get 6 anvils in a row. Here you get 4 anvils in a row. Here you get 6 anvils in a row. Here you get 4 anvils in a row. And here you get 7 anvils in a row. So really, it's always going to be more than 3 anvils in a row, no matter where an anvil hides. The only exception to that is if you see like an anvil on the edge right here. Here you would get 3 in a row, 2 in a row, and, oh, that doesn't matter. Basically 3 in a row, 2 in a row, but really you shouldn't see anvils here because really, should be like the endpoint. There should be no anvils blocking this way, right? The other exception is to find anvils hiding between them, right? You should never see any anvils hiding in between any of the anvils like this. There should always be a gap between each of the rows. In fact, many times you actually see anvils hide behind this one, like for instance right here. So you should just memorize this. Memorize, right? I love memorizing things, so that's basically it for that. Talked about basically everything, right? With a few exceptions, right? Notice that hiders can actually, well, obviously, they can get on top of here, but hiders can actually go on top of this thing and then jump up to here. It turns out that from the top of, from the top of that building, they can actually get on top of, like, if I launch my bow, they can get, like, all the way up there. Right? It is possible. Right? And they can even do it over here. Check this out. I'm gonna go back on this ladder. Hiders can actually go literally above the hunter spawn. Like, literally, they can get all the way up here and hide up here. And, well, even though they don't become solid, they can still get up here. They become solid on the stairs, though. Right? They can really go all the way up there. Turns out, hiders can actually get on top of that pink wool. So I recommend you go home, and your homework is to memorize the top of the pink wool. Right? I love giving homework sometimes, even though obviously it doesn't matter. Just go home, and your homework is to memorize the top of the pink wool, right? And it turns out from the top of that building, they can also get, you know, up here, up there as well. So you should just memorize hiders and you get all the way up there. Right? It is possible. That's basically it for this video.